So last week I did a video on how to get started on Etsy for less than $1. If you missed that, I'll put the link in the description below. Today I want to talk about how to get your first sale on the platform. Okay, so step number one is kind of obvious, but one that a lot of people I think don't really think about, and that is you need to have a product that people want to buy. Oftentimes when we're starting an Etsy shop, it's because we make something, people have said, hey, maybe you should sell that. Or we're like, maybe I can make a bit of money selling this. And so we just take photos, list it on Etsy, and hope that people are going to want to buy it. But we haven't really thought about it from the customer's point of view. We haven't really done any market research. We haven't looked at the competition. We haven't actually checked to see if there is actually a market for this thing that I'm wanting to sell. You know, are there too many people selling the same thing? Does this not stand out in the crowd? Or is it so obscure that nobody's actually looking for it or wanting to buy it? So before you go through all of the effort of getting a shop set up, make sure to do a little bit of research and just make sure there is actually a market for the thing that you want to sell. Okay, so step number two is obviously set up a good looking shop. Now, this is also a mistake a lot of people make, is that they just kind of don't really think about their branding, don't really think about what they want their shop to be about or what they want their business to be about. They just kind of have some random things they've been making. They might have a lot of different types of products, or they just have a bunch of the same thing, whatever it might be. They just take photos and chuck it up on the platform and hope that sales roll in. If you want to stand out on the platform, you need to do the work to make sure that your shop is optimized. That means it's well branded. That means you've done your research on your keywords. Now, there are some free programs that you can use to do this and some paid ones. I'll put a bunch of links in the description below to things like Allura, Sales Samurai, Etsy Hunt. There's a whole bunch of different ones, but doing a little bit of research will really help and make sure, same as step one, that there is a market for what you want and that you are tapping into and actually reaching the right people with your listings. Now, a lot goes into this step. I mean, I'm just kind of glossing over set up a well-branded, nice shop, but it's a huge task to do this properly. If you do need some help with this, I do run a course called Set Up Shop twice a year. It's coming up very soon. It's an intensive 30-day course that will teach you everything you need to know in order to set up, start and run a successful shop for your handmade goods, whether it's on Etsy or another platform. I will leave a link to that in the description below, and I'll put a link on the screen here if you want to join me for that course. It's a live course. You'll work with me during the course. We'll have Facebook Lives and chats and stuff like that. So it's really fun and really effective. And bonus, once you sign up for the course, you can come back and take it as many times as you want. If life gets in the way this time round or it's not quite the right time, you can always come back and do it in the future. So check that one out if you need some help setting up or overhauling a shop you already have. Okay, so you've done your research, you know that you sell something people want, you've set up an optimized, well-branded shop with beautiful listings. Step number three, you need to tell people about it. Yes, we want the Etsy algorithm to bring us traffic. That's why we do all the work to, research our keywords. That's why we're on the platform. The whole point of being on a platform like Etsy is that they will then bring you traffic. Also, it's very affordable. As I said in my last video, you can set up for less than $1. However, you're going to get more traction and hopefully get more sales if you do the work to actually drive traffic as well. So tell people about it. Put it on your social media. Talk to your friends and family. You'll often find that your family and friends are your biggest supporters, and word of mouth is really powerful. Put a notice up on your local community notice board. Whatever it is, however you want to get the word out there about your products, get the word out there. Don't be shy about it. I know a lot of people are kind of nervous and shy about sharing their work with the world. Sometimes it's even harder to share it with the people closest to us, but it's how you're going to get traction. And the more people you can get looking at shop, the more chances are you're going to get that first sale. The fourth thing you can do is to keep adding listings. Now, there's all sorts of numbers that are bandied out around about how many listings you need to have to be successful on Etsy. And as far as I can tell, generally speaking, it's pretty much nonsense. Like, there's no magic number that you need to be successful on Etsy. I have friends who have shops that they do launches, so they release a batch of products and they sell out really quickly, and then they don't add anything to their shop for another 3 months. They still do great. There are other people who have hundreds upon hundreds of products in their shop and they do great. So I don't think it's so much about numbers per se. That being said, the more listings you have on Etsy, the more chances you have to be found. It's just a numbers game. The more chances you have to show up in search for people to click on your products and potentially buy them. So keep adding listings, keep adding products so long as they're quality products. Don't just make stuff and throw it up there for the sake of having more listings. Make sure that they're quality products, that you've done the work to optimize them, and that they are in line with your branding. Another thing you might want to try, and this is a strategy that a lot of people use, is running a sale to get started in order to try to kickstart things and get your first sale on the platform. So the way this can work is, you have done the calculations to work out what your prices should be. And if you haven't, I have a video on that. I'll put a link up here somewhere. Very, very important. So you make sure that you aren't underpricing yourself. In fact, your prices should have a healthy profit margin already built into them, especially at the retail price, which is what you're selling them for. If all of this sounds like gobbledygook and you don't know the difference between a wholesale and retail price for your product, you need to watch that video, okay, after this one. If your products are priced correctly with a healthy profit built in, you can afford to run a sale on your products, save 10, 15, even 20% for a short period of time. So you can call this a grand opening sale, or if you've been open for a little bit of time, just come up with another reason to have a sale. Maybe it's spring, maybe it's summer, maybe it's your birthday, whatever. Just run a short sale, like 48 hours, and then talk about it everywhere, share it on your socials, have a banner in your shop that advertises that there's a sale. But why this is powerful is for a couple of reasons. One is that when you run a sale in your shop, people in search see that. It's actually on the listing in search so that you are running a discount on it. And also, if that helps you get your first sale or even your first few sales, it will improve the ranking of those products in search organically, and they are more likely to show up after the sale is over to more people and therefore get you more sales. It's kind of like an upward spiral. It's a thing called the listing quality score on Etsy, and the more views, clicks, and favorites and purchases your product gets, the higher its listing quality score. So we want to do things to move the dial and get those products being favorited, bought, and seen. I am not a big advocate of putting your products on sale on a regular basis, especially for quality handmade products, because I think people should be buying them at full price, and we don't want to devalue our businesses or our products by having constant sales. That being said, running a sale is a marketing strategy we can employ at certain times in our business in order to move the needle forward. Especially in our current economy, things are tough for everybody. So trying new things to get those sales is something we need to do when we're in business. And it's always worth experimenting with new strategies to see what works for you. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I am running my setup shop if you need some help with this. But in the meantime, you can get a free Etsy Quick Start guide that you can download from me. I will leave a link to that below at the top of the description. So go check that one out. It's a checklist of all the little steps you need to take in order to get your Etsy shop up and running. So if you want to make sure you've done everything you need to do, at least the basics, go download that Quick Start guide right now. If you found this one helpful, please give me a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this one, you'll probably like this video next, where I talk about an 8-step system to get your business up and running. I hope you enjoy that one too. Oh, and remember to go watch that pricing video if you need to as well. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.